Such a big season, tough 31. I'm here to give back to the game, give back to the sport.
A lot of ups, couple downs, but every road led me here. And honestly, as soon as I made the decision, as soon as that door just crept
like
open,
a dog in that octagon on Saturday night.
Is Conor McGregor washed up? Many think so, but this fight against Michael Chandler will tell us the truth. Despite the UFC icing Conor and contract drama, he's back. Let's see when these two titans clash. It's going to be anything but close. The buzz around Conor McGregor's return to the octagon to face Michael Chandler is palpable. Fans are on the edge of their seats, not just for the fight but also for the strategic moves by the UFC to lock McGregor's into a long-term commitment. The UFC's push for an 8-fight deal with McGregor isn't just about the fights, it's a chess move to keep one of the biggest stars from venturing outside of the UFC universe. McGregor's absence has also fueled the anticipation of his comeback. And what a comeback is slated to be. Michael Chandler, a formidable opponent with the reputation of being a top fighter, is expected to be McGregor's first challenge upon his return. The UFC knows the value of McGregor brings to the table. He's not just a fighter, he's a brand, a personality that draws crowds and sells pay-per-viewers like no other. That's why the UFC's negotiation tactics have been so aggressive. They want to ensure that McGregor's star power remains within their control. By securing him on an 8-fight deal, they're making sure that he's not tempted by other promotions or lucrative boxing matches that could draw him away from the UFC. Is Conor McGregor washed up? Dana White, the UFC president, has been somewhat elusive when asked about McGregor's return. His responses have been vague, hinting at the complexity behind the scenes. The negotiations have been complex, with both parties likely pushing for terms that best serve their interest. McGregor's camp would want flexibility in the best financial terms, while the UFC would aim to maximize the returns on investment by keeping him in-house for as long as possible. This tug-of-war is not just about the fights, it's about the future of the UFC and McGregor's career. An 8-fight deal is a significant commitment, one that could define the next few years of both McGregor and the UFC. It's a statement for intent from the UFC that they're now willing to share their biggest assets with anyone else. McGregor's leg injury, sustained in a fight back in July 2021, was indeed severe. It's the kind of injury that takes a long time to heal, and understandably, it would sideline any fighters for a significant period. Dana White has compared McGregor's recovery timeline to that of the other fighters who suffered similar injuries, like Anderson Silva and Chris Weidman, suggesting that a lengthy recovery is not unusual. But then there's money aspect. McGregor isn't just a fighter, he's a brand, a business mogul with ventures that extend well beyond the octagon. White has pointed out that McGregor doesn't really need the fucking money, implying that financial motivation isn't driving McGregor's return. This is a man who's made his fortune and could easily walk away from fighting without financial worry. So, is movie making the reason Conor McGregor isn't fighting? Yet, the idea that McGregor's wealth is a barrier to his return seems a bit too simplistic. After all, McGregor's never been one to shy away from the spotlight or the thrill of competition. His passion for the sports has always been palpable, and it's hard to imagine him staying away just because he's got enough cash in the bank. White has also mentioned McGregor's venture into the film industry, including a role on the upcoming Roadhouse remake starring Jake Gyllenhaal, which was released on Amazon Prime Video. This foray into acting could be another piece of the puzzle, as it certainly demands time and focus that might otherwise be spent training and preparing for a fight. White has also cited money complications as a reason for McGregor's inactivity. Given McGregor's financial success in recent ventures, the intricacies of contract negotiations and the scheduling of his return are undoubtedly complex. White has praised McGregor as an incredible partner when it comes to making money, but acknowledges that money complicates a lot of things. Conor McGregor's leg injury has been a go-to explanation for his prolonged absence from the UFC. It's been 3 years since that fateful day when McGregor's chin snapped, an image that's etched into the memory of fight fans worldwide. The injury was gruesome, and no one doubted it would take a serious toll on any athlete, let alone one who relies on mobility and agility as much as mixed martial artists. But here's where things get interesting. When you look at other fights who suffered similar fates, the timeline starts to raise eyebrows. Take Anderson Silva for example. He suffered a comparable injury but made a return to the octagon in just over a year. Chris Weidman, another fighter with a similar injury, also aimed for a comeback within a similar time frame. So why has McGregor's recovery taken significantly longer? Some might argue that every injury is different, and everybody heals in their own time. That's a fair point. McGregor's long break from fighting is surprising for someone known for bouncing back from setbacks. It's not just about physical healing, it's about the fighter's mindset and their hunger to get back to the game, and McGregor has never been one to back down from the challenge. The speculation doesn't stop at the injury itself. There's talks about McGregor's wealth and success outside of the octagon. He's built an empire that spans whiskey brands and fashion lines, not to mention his stints in the boxing ring. With a net worth that's off the chart, some suggest that the hunger to fight might not burn as brightly as it once did. But let's not forget the psychological aspect of such an injury. A broken leg isn't just a physical setback, it's a mental hurdle. For a fighter who's as much about the mental game as his physical one, this could be a real battle. McGregor's bravado and trash-talking are legendary, but they stem from an unshakable confidence. An injury like this could shake the foundation of even the toughest fighter's fight. Will McGregor return stronger, or is his prime behind him? McGregor's absence has only amplified the speculation about his ability. Some say the time away could have dulled his edge, while others argue that the well-rested McGregor might return stronger than ever. The truth is, no one knows for sure, and that's what makes this matchup so compelling. Chandler, on the other hand, is no stepping stone. He's a seasoned fighter with his own set of impressive skills. If McGregor is to prove he's still the top of this game, Chandler is the perfect opponent to test his spirit. It's a classic scenario, the returning champion versus a steadfast contender. This McGregor versus Chandler fight is a big deal. It could either solidify McGregor's legacy as a UFC legend or show that it's time for a new champion like Chandler to take the lead. When McGregor faced Khabib Nurmagomedov at UFC 229, it was billed as clash of styles. Nurmagomedov's grappling-heavy approach was always going to be a challenge for McGregor, who's known for striking ability. The fight played out as many had predicted, with Nurmagomedov taking McGregor to the ground and eventually securing a submission victory. While some saw this as a sign that McGregor was past his prime, others recognized that it was the Russian's wrestling skills that decided the fight, not a lack of ability on McGregor's part, what led to McGregor's loss to Poirier at UFC 264. Similarly, McGregor's bouts with Dustin Poirier, particularly their third encounter at UFC 264, were influenced by strategic choices. Poirier used low calf kicks, a tactic that has proven effective in their previous fights at UFC 257, played a significant role in his victory. McGregor, for his part, seemed prepared for a striking battle but was less equipped to handle Poirier's leg attacks, which ultimately led to a TKO win for Poirier. Again, this wasn't so much a testament to McGregor's decline as it was a testament to Poirier's strategic execution. Moreover, McGregor's decision to engage in a guillotine choke attempt during the UFC 264 fight was a tactical error that allowed Poirier to gain a dominant position on the ground. Analysts have scrutinized this move, suggesting that sticking to his striking roots might have served McGregor better. It's these moments of strategic miscalculation, rather than a drop in skills level, that have contributed to McGregor's recent losses. It's also worth noting that both Nurmagomedov and Poirier are at the top of their game, with Poirier currently ranked as one of the best lightweights in the world. Losing to fighters of such caliber doesn't necessarily indicate a decline. It could simply mean that McGregor faced exceptionally tough competition. Critics may point to McGregor's losses as evidence of his waning abilities, but it's essential to consider the context of those defeats. The matchups against Nurmagomedov and Poirier were challenging, and strategic decisions during those fights had a considerable impact on the outcomes. It's these factors, rather than a decline in McGregor's inherent talent, that have shaped his recent performances. Who will emerge victorious when precision meets power in the octagon? Will McGregor's sharp counterstrike cut through Chandler's aggressive onslaught? Or will Chandler's ferocity prove too much for McGregor? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to the channel for more content.